Happy Friday the 13th, everybody. What better time to do a Friday the 13th tier list? First up, we have the original Friday the 13th. Now, this is one I like, but I don't watch that often because it just doesn't have much going for it for me. I think the reveal at the end is amazing, but yeah, it's probably going in the C tier. Now, part two, I love this film. We have the introduction of Jason with the sack head. All the kills are phenomenal, especially the one machete to the face and falling down the stairs. That was epic. That is an easy A tier for me. Part three. Now, I love part three. Shelley in the movie is amazing, and I do love Chris as well. She is probably my favorite final girl in the series. Also, we've got the introduction of Mars, you got the biker gang as well, and there is just so much to love about this movie, so that is definitely an S tier for me. Then we have the final chapter. Now, I like the final chapter, but I don't love it. It's one of the films that's had to grow on me. I think Crispin Glover is one of the things that kind of drives the movie for me. His character makes me laugh. Him trying to get with one of the twins is amusing as well, but apart from like the whole thing in creating masks, like you got like so many things going on. You got the brother trying to find his sister and trying to get revenge on Jason. You've got all these three storylines going on, and like they don't really interconnect and they don't really play off each other very well. They all just feel kind of rammed together. And then like even at the beginning you have the hospital scene and like Jason surviving the machete to the head and killing loads of people. It just doesn't have a lot going for me, so I'm probably going to have to put this one in the C tier. A lot of people give part 5 flack because Jason isn't the killer in the movie. I quite like Roy. He does have kind of a supernatural presence. He has more strength than he really should have. I think the whole cast are interesting in it, especially the guy who wants to have a dump. I also think Tommy is even better in this movie. He is in the psychiatric ward and he's kind of coming to terms with his fear, and at the end it's even hinted that he might be the next killer. So I'm actually going to give this one the B ranking because I think it is one of the better Friday the 13th movies. There is a lot of stuff to actually enjoy in it. Yes, the killer reveal is a bit lackluster because you know nothing about Roy, but aside from that, I think the movie is pretty damn good. Jason Lives. Now, Jason Lives used to be my favourite Friday the 13th, but a while ago when I was rewatching it, it just didn't really have the same appeal to me. It just kind of felt a bit boring and a bit dry and dull. Now, I think the humour and the kind of self-awareness of the movie really, really intrigues me, and it does make it much more of an enjoyable watch. But I don't know, I think it's gone down a little in my ranking, so I'm going to have to put this one in the... Now we've got the ones that people don't like very much. We have 7, 8, 9, and 10. So part 7, you have a Carrie kind of lead. The story doesn't really evolve around anybody else aside from her. She can move things with her mind, and she has a cool fight with Jason in the end. I think Jason's design in this movie is one of the best. He looks spectacular. Even the unmasking scene was bloody brilliant. There are so many cool things in this. The cast... I don't really like the cast. You had the blonde girl with the bob who was just bullying our lead character. You had our lead trying to get over the death of her father. And like, there are so many things that could have been cool in this movie that just didn't really do anything. So for that reason, it's actually going to go into the C tier. Jason Takes Manhattan is absolute garbage. There is no redeeming qualities about this movie whatsoever. He's in a boat for the most of the movie, so the title is a complete and utter lie. Now, I understand they didn't have finances to shoot the film in the location they wanted, but that doesn't make it a good movie. You could have made it interesting. You could have made somebody interesting in the boat. And what was with Jason not being deformed? Like, he was just a normal kid until he died, and then he started, like, being deformed. Like, what could you at least get the continuity right for this series and actually pay attention to what's actually going on? The kills are lackluster, the story's boring, the characters are atrocious, and Jason walks past people in the subway. Like a few movies, like 7, right? He was a killing machine. He was killing everyone. Didn't matter who they were, what they were doing, or anything, right? And in this movie, he's walking through people on the train, he's walking past people on the street, not giving a damn apart from the characters who are actually on the boat. And I'm like, why on earth is he not killing everyone? Terrible, terrible, terrible movie. Garbage. I won't even watch this movie by itself. I just won't. If I'm watching it as part of the whole franchise, yeah, fine. But I'm not watching this movie by itself. It is awful. The one that everybody says is complete and utter garbage and terrible. Jason Goes to Hell. Now, I actually quite like this movie. I think Duke is a really, really interesting character. And even the lead, the guy with glasses, I can't remember his name. It doesn't matter. But his story of trying to get his wife back and trying to come to terms with everything that's going on with his life and how messed up it is interesting. I think the kills in the movie are interesting. The body hopping probably should bother me, but it doesn't. The thing that bothers me is them spelling Voorhees wrong on a sign. I don't mind like the inclusion of like the Evil Dead stuff, and even like the beginning was really cool. Like you had Jason, you had the camp, and I think the design again is phenomenal in this. I love the sunken mask in the face. So yeah, I really, really enjoy this movie. So it's actually going to go in the A tier, which is probably going to bother a lot of people. But yeah, as I said, I love this movie. It is one of my favorites to watch. And it was probably, I think it might have been my second one that I actually watched. Jason X. Jason Goes to Space. Now, again, I like Jason X. I think it's a good movie. It has a lot of humor, a lot of stuff going for it. I think the humor in Jason X is actually aged a lot better than Jason Lives. Some of the stuff is very hit and miss, but whereas Jason X was more of a modern movie, so it would appeal to a lot more people. Whole parodying itself with the hologram girls and Jason sleeping bag death. Awesome. Uber Jason, again, fantastic. His whole regeneration thing and being unkillable. Yeah, it's an alright retcon, but it doesn't really do much for me. B tier. I think it's definitely a very enjoyable film, and it is another one that I do watch. I watch all of these films at least once on Friday the 13th. Sometimes I watch all of them because you can actually do it in one day. But anyway, Freddy vs. Jason. Now, bringing two icons together is often difficult because you can't necessarily have a winner. And in this, you kind of do. I think this is a great film. I think the time they dedicated to Freddy and Jason were equal, and the design for Jason and Ken Kirzinger's performance was phenomenal. A tier. I constantly watch this movie, and this is something that I really, really do enjoy, and I have a great time watching. You have the stoner, and he shouldn't be a likable character. You have the dickhead, and again, he should not be a likable character, but all of the characters in the movie, for some reason, just appealed to me so much. And Monica Keenan, oh my word, she is gorgeous. Last but not least, we have the remake. You know what? That's going in S tier. I love the remake. It is one of my, well, it obviously is one of my favorite movies. Kind of wraps the first three movies into one, and honestly, it does a brilliant job at adapting them. I showed this one to my girlfriend for the first introduction to Friday the 13th, and she quite enjoyed it as well. You have the fake out beginning with the people who you think are going to be the leads for the movie, but they're actually not, and they're actually killed off. And then you have Clay, and I'm going to call them the Goon Squad. You have the Goon Squad with Tate and Stupendous Tits. I like Tate, I like Clay. I'm very glad that we got these in the movie. Danielle Panda Baker, I can't remember the name of the character, is awesome. And you do feel her with her struggle with like how Tate is being such a dickhead, and then how she leads to Clay, and then that leads on to the whole cheating thing and stuff like that. The idiots in this movie, the two guys, right, their chemistry is amazing. And like, if I was going to pick two people to hang out with out of the Friday the 13th franchise, it would easily be those two guys. But yeah, that's my ranking of Friday the 13th. Obviously, it's not in order because it's a tier list. What do you guys think? How would you rank these movies